Hi, my name's Jesse and I'm the Fast and Sparky, and in this video I really am going to show you how I can calculate how much my oven costs me to cook a meal, and I'll do it in less than 10 seconds, and you can too. And I'll do that towards the end of the video. But before that, I need to show you how to do it. Right, okay. As we know, guys, the cost of energy is skyrocketing. It's gone up. Everybody's worrying about how much things cost, especially electricity. So how much does it cost to cook a meal in your oven? What do you think it costs? To be honest, I hadn't really given it a huge amount of thought, and I was quite surprised when I sat down yesterday. Hang on, my dog's playing up down here. Bob, go lay down, my man. Come on. Don't start that. Yeah, when I sat down yesterday and worked it out, I was quite surprised. Right, so what are we going to need to know to be able to do this calculation? And literally, if you can work one of these, you will be able to do this calculation in less than 10 seconds. But before you can do the calculation, you just need to find out two pieces of information that will allow you to do the calculation. And I have created a table. Now I'll put that table up on the screen now for you to all see. And this table will be made available for absolutely anybody to use. I absolutely love watching food reviews, so much so that it inspired me to start doing some myself. But I think there's an element missing. I think food reviewers should be, if it's possible, and if it's easy enough, should be including in their reviews how much it costs to cook the product they're reviewing. Kitchen food reviewers I'm talking here, people who review stuff in their kitchen. And it really is a lot easier than most people would think. Okay, now let's get it up on the screen. Let's get me down at the bottom in one of those little screens at the bottom. And we've got 7 columns here. And in column number 1 is cost per kilowatt hour. And as it says there, found on electricity bill. You need to know how much you're paying for 1 unit of electricity, also known as per kilowatt hour. It's on your electricity bill. It will say you've used X amount of units at whatever you're paying per kilowatt hour. Now I'm paying, I think I'm paying 33.5 pence and a load of numbers after it, like, you know, little tiny tenths and hundredths of a 1 pence, but it's basically 33.5 pence is what I'm paying. So for this video, I've rounded that up to 0.34, and that's exactly what I will be doing in my reviews from now on. I will be calculating the cost of cooking the product I'm reviewing based on 34 pence per kilowatt hour, and of course that's likely to go up at some point, and obviously that will be adjusted when it does. So that is easily found. Now the other thing, don't go, oh, I'll never find this, how am I supposed to know this, I'm not an electrician. You don't need to be an electrician. All you need to do is to be able to use the old tippy tappy. So you need to know what power rating the heating element in your oven is. All you've got to do to find that out is, well, you need to know the make and model of your oven. Put that into Google along with the search term heating element replacement for that oven, and up it will come, and it will be rated either in kilowatts or watts. If it's in watts, it'll be, well, mine is 2,700 watts or 2.7 kilowatts. So in column 2, you would put the number in kilowatts, so it'd be 2.7. So if it was, say for argument's sake, a 2,000 watt heating element, you would put 2.0. If it was 2.5, 2,500, you would put 2.5. Mine is a common size, and that is 2.7 kilowatts. That's the hard bit done. You've done the hard bit. Right, now, column 3. To work column 3 out, all you have to do is multiply column 1 by column 2. Let's get the old calculator. So if you look at in column 1, we've got 0.34, that represents 34 pence, times 2.7, 2.7, and that will give us 0.918, and that is 91.8 pence. So 92 pence basically. That's what it costs for me to run my heating element for 1 hour. Okay, because column 3 is cost of using oven element per hour. So if I was to turn my heating element on, disconnect the thermostat, we will come to the thermostat, but if I was to disconnect the thermostat and just put my heating element on, it would probably blow up eventually, but if it was on for an hour, it would use 92 pence worth of electricity. Okay, now column 4, we need to get that down to how much it costs per minute. Very easily done. You just divide column 3 by 60. That's all you do. Divide column 3 by 60. So that would be 0.918 divided by 60 equals 0.0153. That represents 1.5 pence. So that is how much my heating element costs me per minute. Now, once you've got those 4 pieces of information, you shouldn't, unless you change your oven or your heat or your electricity cost per kilowatt hour goes up or down, you will never need to alter the yellow columns. Them numbers are fixed. You will not need to change them again, which is why it's so fast to do the calculation once you've got them numbers. So once you've got them, boom, it's easy. Right, okay, column 5. Now this is where you just need to make a note of how long you've got your oven switched on. So what I will be doing in my food reviews, I'll be looking at the cooking guidelines. So if it says, say, please heat the cook the product for, say, 20 minutes at 200 degrees, then I will allow 28 minutes, because I will now put up a video that I took of my oven being switched on 2 nights ago. I trained a camera on my oven because I needed to know, because all ovens have a thermostat. So although you got your oven on and it's going away, that heating element is only drawing power when the thermostat is asking for heat, which is when the red light is on. So I needed to know, you know, what percentage of the time is the heating element actually drawing power, because that's where the costs come in. Because when that's off, you've literally just got the fan running, which is absolute minimal, and we've left this out of this calculation because I could have the fan running on my oven for 1 hour and it would cost less than 1 pence. So for that reason, to keep things simple, we'll leave that out of the equation, okay? So I needed to know what percentage of time is my heating element actually on when I'm cooking a meal. Now, off the top of my head, I would have guessed it was around about 3/4 of the time, 75% of the time. I was wrong. Now, you'll see that the video will be running in one of the screens at the bottom, and I'll have that running now right through for the rest of the video. It's speeded up. I can't do it in real time because I think it was 28 minutes, or just under 28 minutes. The actual oven was on. So how long do you think that red light was actually on in them 28 minutes? So that included a preheat and then cooking the food. And it was just under 28. How long do you think that heating element was actually on of them 28 minutes? Well, it was just over 15 minutes. Just over 15. So what percentage is that? So I need to know the thermostat factor. That's very important, very important. Need to know the thermostat factor. So what is the percentage? So all we do is 15 divided by 28 minutes. So it's 15 minutes is the heating's on, but the total times 28 times by 100. And that gives us a percentage of 53.5%. 53.5%. That's good. So literally, your heating element is only trying to get your electricity meter to jump off the wall half the time that it's actually cooking your meal. That's good. So I'll round that up. For my, as you can see in column 7, which includes the thermostat factor, is 55%. Right, so now we know that the oven is only on for 55%, or the heating element is only drawing power for 55% of the time. We can now do the calculation, and I could do it in less than 10 seconds, but we'll do the first one at a slow speed, nice and steady, so you can see how it's done. Right, so we've got the first 4 columns done. Don't need to redo them again next time I do a review. They're done. They're static. They're not going to change unless my oven changes or my my electricity supplier decides to put the price up, which is probably inbound. But anyway, right, column number 5, total oven time. So you need to put how long your oven was actually switched on. Okay, so that includes preheat, that includes cooking time. So when you turn your oven on, so when you take the food out, it's cooked, you put it on the top of your hob and you turn your oven off. What was that time? So for argument's sake, the meal I cooked, as you can see in the video, that's traveling along at fast forward speed. I think that was just under 28 minutes I had the oven on, but we'll round it up to 28 minutes. Well, when I do the 10-second calculation, we'll use the 28-second, but to begin with, we'll just do the 20. Let's say we cooked for 18 minutes and 7 of those minutes were preheating the oven. I think my oven took 7.5 minutes to get up to temperature. I think it was 190. Okay, so maybe 200's probably going to take about 8 minutes, round about 8 minutes. But remember, it was 53%. We've gone up to 55, so we've got a little bit of a bump there anyway. Right, so let's do the calculation. So let's do it on 25 minutes. So the oven's been on for 25 minutes in total. Now, column 6 is cost before applying the thermostat factor. So how much would it cost if I ran the oven for 25 minutes and the thermostat didn't work? Right, the oven was just heating up, and it just stayed on, and the old electric meter's flying round. How much would that cost? Well, to work that out, we just have to get column 4, which is cost of using the oven element per minute, and we know that is 0.0153, 1.5 pence, and we multiply that by 25 minutes, and that will give us the cost. So let's do that. That's 25, or let's do it the right way around. 0.0153 times by 25 equals 38 pence. 0.3825, which is 38.25 pence. So now we know how much it would cost if there was no thermostat. But there is a thermostat, and as you can see from the video, it is clicking in and out. I've actually added a button, because you probably can't, you see the little orange light, but because I've minimized the screen, it's probably difficult to see. So I've added an on button on there. So every time that comes on, there's a bigger button shows up. So every time that red button comes up, that's when the oven is trying to make my electricity meter jump off the wall, okay? Right, so column 7, this is where we get the cost of cooking the meal. So, and this is a ballpark cost, okay? This is going to be within 5, definitely within 10% of what the real cost is. Okay, now there will be slight other, if you know, if a anal electrician comes on this video, he'll be saying, oh, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. I'm not pushing this video out to scientific masterminds or, you know, super electricians who can calculate all this stuff and go to bed reading about all this stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just simply trying to get a ballpark cost which anybody can calculate. So all that stuff is pushed aside because it will literally be less than 1 or 2 pence. Okay? So this is ballpark. Now, to get a ballpark cost, you just take the last calculation, column 6, which is 0.3825, 38 pence, and you times it, multiply it by 55%, which is 0.55, 0.55, and that will give you the cost of how much that cost, well, give me the cost of how much it cost me to cook the meal the other night. So times that by 0.55, and that gives me the number 21 pence. It cost me 21p. I was surprised at that. I thought it would have been more than that, to be honest. There we are, guys. That is it. That's all it is. Simple as that. If you can get them first 4 columns filled in, the rest is easy. The rest is easy. Just get them first 4 done. You won't need to do them again unless your electricity costs go up or you use a different oven. Right, let's have a bash at the 10 seconds, shall we? So what I've got to do, I've got to basically do the last two calculations. That's all I've got to do. And that will give me the cost. So here goes. 3, 2, 1, go. So you go 0.153 times 25 times 0.55 equals 21 pence. Less than 10 seconds. Smashed it. Right guys, that is it. That is all it is. Anybody can work this out. All you need to know is how much you're paying for your electricity and what size heating element you got. That's all you need to know. And obviously how many minutes you're using your oven for. If you really want to find out what your thermostat factor is, you could do exactly what I did, put a camera on it over the course of say half an hour and see how many times it clicks in and out. Obviously opening the door, closing the door many times is going to change it, which is why you'll only ever get a ballpark. But I can tell you, I opened the door 3 times in that 28 minutes. Once to put the food in after the preheat, and then twice just to give it a shuffle. And I got 55%. I was well surprised. I thought it was going to be 75. So yeah, well pleased with that. Actually guys, I actually did get that wrong, didn't I? Because I just calculated 25 minutes. My cooking time was 28. So let's do it again, shall we? I'll just do it a little bit slower this time. Maybe take 8 or 9, eh? So here we go. So it's 0.0153 times 28 times 0.55. That's how much it cost me to cook that meal. 23.5 pence. It's that easy. Right guys, so like I said, I will probably post this table in, is there a community? I've not used it, but I think there's a community section here on YouTube where I think you can post images. So I'll post this table up in there. Anybody's free to just screenshot that and use it as a template. If you want like food reviews, if you want to just use exactly that, if your oven is 2.7 kilowatt, if you want to use this exact table and put your logo over the top of mine, feel free to do so. Honestly, I think we all should be including this in our reviews, and it'd be great to see it. It's so easy. It really is easy. So I'll post that in the community part of YouTube. If anybody's got any questions, if you're unsure of anything, please get in the comments and I'll try and help you, you know, answer any questions you have, or if there's anything you don't understand about any of the columns or what they mean, please get in the comments and ask me. I try to keep this video as short and as snappy as possible, because otherwise it would just be you know, spin a lot of people's heads out. But really, it's not that difficult. It really isn't. If you can fill them first 4 columns in every time you use your oven afterwards, it's easy. It's absolutely easy. Obviously, if you turn the temperature up more, I mean, I was at 190, so if I turn my temperature up slightly more, it's going to change it slightly, but again, this is only ballpark. It's not going to change it no more than 5-10%, unless I'm whacking it up to 240 degrees, but I never ever cook anything at that temperature. Right guys, so yeah, feel free to use this, anybody. And like I say, if you've got any questions, get in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Hey, boo-boo. Now, you're not going to see me using this on my food reviews until I've already got about, hang on, I think I've got another 6 reviews already done. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got 2 more to edit, and I've not included this in any of them. So I've got another 6 to go out, which will not include this part of cost and the cooking time. But I think it will be the 5th of December. I think Monday the 5th of December will be the first review that this gets added to. And I'll be doing on every review where I use my oven to cook the product I'm reviewing. Okay guys, that is just about it. I will be getting an air fryer at some point. The one I've got is a dinosaur. I mean, it's got no temperature regulation on there, and the thermostat, you know, you don't know when it's cutting in and out basically. So unless I start messing around with the cables and getting a clamp meter on it, I can't really find out what the thermostat factor is. I might do it just for the hell of it, because I do use that quite a lot. But when I get a new one, I believe they have got temperature controls on, and hopefully it will be like a light coming on and off to tell you when it's actually on, and then we'll be able to apply exactly the same calculation to an air fryer and work out how much they're using too. Okay, boo-boo. And yeah, so that's it guys. Any questions, get in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me and the old custard kid down here again soon on the next food review. Cheers guys.